I'm out here firing the pits up because today we're doing pork belly burn-ins. Oh, it's gonna be awesome. My favorite barbecue food of all is brisket, and specifically the burnt ends on a brisket. That's where we take the point, we chop it up into little cubes, and we got a nice bark all the way around them. We can even sauce them. In the comments below, tell me what your favorite barbecue food is to either eat or cook. I also love pork. I mean, a good pork tenderloin or a pork chop, pork ribs, you know, who doesn't love pork if you like barbecue? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blend those two things together. I'm gonna take the wonderful flavor of pork, specifically the pork belly, which is where bacon comes from, and bacon makes everything better. And then I'm gonna take the idea of brisket burn-ins. We're gonna combine those, and we're gonna have pork belly burn-ins. We're gonna cut that pork belly into some cubes, put some rub on it, throw it on the smoker, and it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna eat well tonight. So I'm gonna use about a half a chimney of briquettes. And then I'm gonna take the slow and sear. Then I put some fresh unlit charcoal in the slow and sear, put that on one side, I'll put the hot coals over here, and that's gonna help us maintain a nice low temperature. So it'll burn from this side to that side, and that way we should be able to maintain temperatures a little easier. So this is a pork belly. This is a 10-pound pork belly. This is a medium, you know, probably medium large size pork belly. And on the back side, there's a fat cap, but we're not gonna really take any of that off. That's gonna give us a bunch of flavor. The only thing that we wanna make sure of is that it doesn't have any skin on it. We wanna make sure that the pork belly has had its skin taken off. So we're gonna take the pork belly and we're gonna cut it into 1-inch cubes. And the reason we're gonna do this first is so that we can get a bark all the way around the outside and that the smoke gets around all the outside of each cube. It can be inch and a half. You have to remember there's a lot of fat in a pork belly, so it's gonna shrink quite a bit. We're trying to get these things about the size of, you know, a couple of bites here for most people. Make sure your knife is nice and sharp because fat can be pretty stringy. Now something like this, there's no meat on that at all. I'm just gonna put that to the side. I'm not gonna cook that. So there's our 10 pounds of pork belly cubes, and I've got them all sliced up. Take your time with this, and like I said, make sure you have a sharp knife. Now it's time to get some rub on them. I'm gonna use Killer Hog's barbecue rub. I think it's an incredible rub for pork, and I think it's gonna do real well right here. So lay your cubes out. Keep them close together, and then just hit them with the rub. Flip them, turn them around. You know, we want to get as much rub on these guys as we can get. If you're interested in any of the products or items that you see in the video, hit the show more button down below. There's more information about a lot of it right there. I'm gonna cook some of these pork belly burn-ins on the Weber kettle, and we're gonna do this at about 275 degrees. Put some chunks of apple wood. There we go. And we'll let that turn into a nice blue smoke, get our temperature regulated. We'll get these things on the grill. What I didn't tell you is I'm also gonna be doing some on the Rectech pellet grill. You fire the Rectech pellet grill up by pushing the on button, change the temperature with the LCD display up to 275. It has a feature called Extreme Smoke. Now that only works at 250 degrees and below, so we're not gonna use that today. However, I do have my 12-inch pellet tube, and I've got it full of pellets, and you can see it's just as smoking and ready to go. So we're gonna put that in there. Now the trick about a pellet tube is you want to make sure you stand it up or have the part that you light elevated a little higher than the back so it'll stay lit for about 5 or 10 minutes. And you want to make sure when you put them on your racks that you don't touch them together any more than necessary, because if they're touching, smoke's not going to be able to get over all 4 surfaces. Hopefully you're enjoying the video. Have you subscribed yet? What are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button down below. You can check the channel out for past videos and stay up to date with future videos to do with videos just like this. Also, do me a favor, hit that like button and share the video with your friends and family. It'll help grow the channel and I appreciate it. On the indirect side, we're going to put our other we're going to have our other rack. We have our pork belly burnt ends cubed, got our rub on, and we got them on the grill. Now we have them on 2 different grills. Now I'm going to have to watch the temperature on that Weber kettle because you want to make sure you stay right about that 275. And we're going to cook for about 3.5 hours or so. After 3.5 hours is up, I'll show you what we'll do next. We're an hour and a half in. We're gonna go ahead and take a peek and see how we're looking. Ooh. Let's see how the Rectech's looking. So you can definitely see a color difference. They look beautiful. We're almost 3 hours into the cook, and just like a lot of meats when it comes to barbecue, we're gonna cook to color at this point, and then we're gonna wrap. I'm gonna take a peek at each grill, and I'm gonna look at the color of the pork belly burnt ends, because that's what I'm cooking to right now. When they're naked on the grill like this, it's all about color. We're gonna wrap them in some foil. Now, you can go another way. You can put them in a foil pan, all of them, and cover them. What you're gonna have is an environment that is great for steam, and you know, you may like them that way. So if you do, go for it. But what it's gonna do is it's gonna reduce the bark. It's gonna reduce the crisp of that bark. And since they're burnt ends, I don't wanna reduce them any more than I have to. So I'm gonna put them in foil packets, wrap them real tight, and that should help me preserve this bark to get them up to that nice and tender area, which is gonna be about 200 degrees or so. Woo. It doesn't get any better than that, guys. That is a perfect color. Perfect color. We're gonna go ahead and wrap these guys. All right, on the Rectech, we're getting close. Real close, but we're not quite there. Another half hour or so and these guys will be good. All right, so for our foil packets, we're gonna do a little bit of brown sugar. I'm gonna put this in here first. In each packet, I'm gonna put a half stick of butter. That's unsalted butter. So I'm gonna get a temperature reading on this one just to find out where we are. I'm gonna put a little bit of apple juice in here. All right, and then we're gonna wrap it up real tight. And there's one. I'm gonna do the same thing for the other half. Get this other half rolled up. A little apple juice. Wrap them really tight. Go 275 for about another half hour. That pellet tube, that 12-inch pellet tube really helps. Look at the color and the bark on these guys. It's gonna be delicious. I just checked the burn ends on the Weber and they were about 185, so Still not quite to the temperature where I think they're gonna be tender enough, but I wanna go ahead and check the Rectech. Oh man, you gotta get a look at this. We're gonna pick a big one, and we're gonna get a temp on it. That's tender. Temperature as a guide, but when it comes to pulling these things off the grill, which is the most important part, you're looking for tenderness. Just find a spot where there's some meat, stick your probe in. Now that one's got a little bit of resistance, but it's not too bad. Now watch, look at the skin, look at the edge here. Perfect. These guys are ready for the last step. And the last step is where we're gonna throw some glaze or some sauce on them and let them just kind of caramelize. I'm gonna use some rib candy on one side. Just gonna kind of squirt that in there. Okay, mango habanero, that is some good stuff. Now I'm just gonna kind of baste the ones that didn't get it. On the other side, I'm gonna go with a little bit of this. Stubbs barbecue, Dr. Pepper style. Some sauce in there. Kind of mix them up, baste them. We're gonna let them caramelize for about 10 minutes. They really turn out amazing. These pork belly burnt ends are a special, special treat. So I ended up with 4 different kinds, 2 different flavors on the Rectech pellet grill, and then 2 different flavors on the Weber kettle. And to be real honest with you, the color on both of them is almost identical. They smell amazing, and I'm ready to give them a shot. Okay, so this half over here is from the Rectech, and that half over there is from the Weber. Now let's try one from the Weber. Wow. So which one do I like better? They're all barely able to be called food. They're more like candy. But I'd have to give the edge to the Weber kettle. Both flavors, they just have that little bit of extra, you know, hard smoky flavor to them. And that's expected because the Rectech does a milder smoky flavor. And I mean, even with the smoker tube, it's still just a mild at best smoke content. But the Weber, wow, they are good. If you haven't done pork belly, you need to get one. Get it in the grill, give it a shot. It's hard to go wrong on it. You know, the details are pretty simple. Just make sure you pull it off at the right temperature, which is gonna be somewhere around 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Total cook time on these guys was between 4 and 5 hours. The 4 hours was on the pellet grill, the 5 hours was on the Weber. And that was because the Weber temperature was going a little lower than 275 as compared to the Rectech, which stays consistent. Again, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure you like the video, share it with your friends and family, and I really appreciate you checking out the video.